Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode on the Doctor Who and Autism series. Today, I'm joined with Shane, and this is Shane's second appearance because earlier this year we did an autism series where Shane was there too. So it's great to have you back, Shane.
It's great to be back. Thanks very much.
Yeah. So how have you been since like the last time that we done this?
Just been very busy. It's been a bit kind of chaotic at times, but you see, my autism side likes like routine to be calmer and stuff. But my ADHD, it wants to basically be always doing something. So it's like hard to strike a balance between them. So I do the best I can, basically.
Yeah, you got to keep busy, haven't you? Because you got to. It's good to be like that, really, isn't it? Because it's better you doing something than maybe just sitting bored.
Well, yeah, but thing is, thanks to me doing all that, it can sometimes lead to burnout, which I'm sure
Yeah,
you'll have experience with as well.
yeah,
So it's all about trying to strike like a perfect balance between the two. And but it's like, I mean, because it's like trying to fly a plane without a manual or without any training. It's just like, it's completely mental.
yeah. It's hard because maybe you overwork yourself. Like you're thinking you got to do something maybe all the time, and you got. I think it's always good to try and have a break now and then.
Yeah. Yeah, which is what today is basically.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's good. It's good to have a break, and we'll talk about something that I guess we both like, and it's gonna be really fun. Um, so I know before that you talked about that you kind of stopped maybe once Peter Capaldi was on and probably got into it for a while, but like before then, like do you have like a doctor that you really like or relate to out of the doctors?
Yeah, yeah, because in the newer era, I mean, I'd say Christopher Eccleston, the Ninth Doctor, is my favourite, but Matt Smith comes like a very close second.
Yeah, Matt Smith was really funny, wasn't he?
Yeah. The thing is, when he first came out, I didn't really like. He was a bit. He was. Thing is, I don't really like change, and think is Matt Smith was very different to David Tennant. So that's why I kind of like didn't really get into it at first with Matt Smith. But fingers, when I rewatched the episodes and stuff, that's when I thought, on a minute, he's actually fantastic. Matt Smith's basically made the role his own, basically, rather than just copying what other doctors have done.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's really cool, because like the Ninth Doctor was great. His first series, like the first series of New Who was awesome.
No, he was fantastic, was Christopher Eccleston. He was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It's great. Like he done so many good episodes. Um, and then David Tennant came along and it was great as well. Um,
Yeah, David Tennant was good, definitely.
yeah,
I like the emotion he brought to the role and stuff. He definitely brought like a lot of emotions into the role.
yeah. Like it's kind of a fan favorite, I think, David Tennant for
Definitely.
yeah, yeah, and he's always come back, isn't he? All the time.
Oh yeah, he's coming. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the in is it the centre? Is it in the 60th? He's coming back for it in
Yeah,
our centenary special.
yeah. I think it's a 60th. I'm not sure if if like because it's rumours that Jodie may regenerate into David Tennant first before Shooty Gap was there, but I'm not sure. He may turn up in like Jodie's last episode for the regeneration, but if not, he'll definitely be in the 60th.
Yeah, who knows? As I said, yeah, as I said, the only thing is, I just wish Chris Eccleston would return. However, of course, there's been like of course, it's widely known. But of course, he fell out with the production crew, in particular Davis, who of course who's back.
Yeah.
So there's no chance of him coming back now, really.
Like I saw like a video clip the other day, and like a person asked him like, "Would you ever return to Doctor Who maybe for the 60th?" Um, and he said no, he wouldn't return. He loves he loves the Ninth Doctor, but he said like he's not all with like these multi-Doctor stories. Like I reckon he would if it was maybe just a story on his own, like with his Doctor and sort of something. But yeah, it, if I think that would be the only way to possibly get him just on his own, not with the other Doctors. But I would like him to see him come back at some point, but like we say, it's very unlikely.
Yeah, as I said, as I said, in my opinion, I think it's mostly due to like the production team and stuff like that. I mean, the thing is, fallouts happen, don't they, and stuff. Disagreements happen. It's natural, but sadly, as I said, it's
Yeah, he related to a
one of
few
the
episodes as well.
time.
Yeah, because I think the Father's Day episode, I think he really liked the episode because it was like a really personal episode to him. So like when you look at it, probably some of these episodes mean a lot to the actor who actually are doing the role.
Yeah. As I said, in that episode, although it isn't one of my favourites, it's kind of I like that it shows Christopher Eccleston's range and stuff as Doctor. He goes from like being he's angry in the episode, he's sad in the episode, he's happy in the episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like multiple different emotions in it and stuff.
Yeah. That's why I really like the Dalek episode when he's really raging at that Dalek. It's
Well, God, yeah. The thing is, it shows the Doctor kind of getting his anger out and stuff. It shows like his true feelings towards the Daleks, and like said it, yeah, basically, and yeah, and of course, he was the first Doctor after the Time War, wasn't he? So yes,
yeah, because
yeah. So basically, you can see. I mean, of course, in the later series, of course we've met like John Hurt's Doctor and stuff. We kind of know why Christopher Eccleston's Doctor was the way he was, and
yeah, because like he kind of at first when we saw first John Hurt, it was quite confusing because we didn't know who he was at the time, really. But I think he was great. Like I think at that particular time, Chris Eccleston did get asked to come back for the 50th with Matt Smith and David Tennant, and
he was asked to, or at least to film like the Regeneration series, like from John Hurt into Christopher Eccleston, but he declined.
yeah, he thought that John Hurt would be much better than him to do it. But yeah, like you kind of got it a little bit, I guess, with the regeneration. Like you could just see maybe they probably took if they did, but a clip out of his regeneration going into David Tennant, I reckon.
Yeah.
For that kind of thing. But yeah, it's like I know what you mean about like you don't like when we don't like things to change because like you get used to something for a long time really. Like normally a Doctor nowadays is Doctor for about 5 years and a few series. And like if you like a certain Doctor, you're gonna get attached, aren't you? Like for example, maybe Matt Smith, for example. Like you really like him, and then when he leaves, when you know he's gonna leave, you think, oh, I've got to have to get used to another Doctor now.
The thing is, although of course with Doctor Who, that's the entire essence of course Doctor Who is that the Doctor always changes and stuff. So we kind of like know what to expect, kind of thing. So it kind of makes it a tiny bit easier for us when he does change. Well, of course, we're expecting it at some point. We don't know when it's going to happen, but we know it's going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah. It's always going to happen, isn't it? Like it's a thing that even the actor's going to know that I'm not going to be the Doctor. Well, they are going to be the Doctor forever, really, but not acting the role like for years on years. But I would like to see maybe a Doctor be a bit longer in the role than quite recently. Like I know, like from the 10th Doctor, each Doctor's done like 3 seasons each, so it would be nice maybe for maybe a bit longer,
Yeah,
maybe.
as I said, yeah, we've mainly done like 3 years each. David Tennant did 5, but the longest ever Doctor was Tom Baker, and he did 7 years.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
He did 7 years, so yeah.
I think the longest Doctor in New Who is actually Jodie Whittaker. Um, and that's not episodes wise. That's just how long she's been the Doctor for. And
Well, yeah, 'cause there's been big breaks between each series, hasn't there?
yeah, yeah. And when I saw the stuff, I didn't actually think that. I thought David Tennant definitely has had the most episodes, probably longest time as the Doctor. And yeah, I didn't think that, but I guess because of COVID and stuff, that is why that like she's got the
Yeah,
longest. Yeah.
yeah, it's certainly the case. I do think Jodie Whittaker has been. I can't remember when she came on actually. Was it 2017, 2018?
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
that was it.
I think it was 2018, wasn't it?
I think
Was it?
her regeneration from Peter would have been like Christmas was 2017, and then she started in 2018 the series.
Yeah,
Well, she might have done. Really, I'm not sure what. I'm sure it did. It might have been 2019. You know, maybe they
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
do anything in 2018.
yeah, yeah. 'Cause the thing is, I remember that they said that would be a big gap between the regeneration scene and their first series. I do remember that, I believe,
Maybe they
but I
missed a
don't know
year.
if it, I don't know if it was a year gap or not, or if it was like 9 months. I don't know.
It must have been because, like, if it's 2022 now, if she did it from 2018,
That's
for
4 years.
that would have been like there's only 3 series. They wouldn't. They could have finished it all in 2020, if possibly, or even last year. I reckon they did miss a year. You know.
Yeah, 'cause like there was those massive gaps between like the series and stuff. I mean, even before COVID, there was a big gap, as I said, between Pete Capaldi into Jodie Whittaker, and then Jodie Whittaker's first proper episode. There was a big gap from what I can remember. Although I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's always time to watch it. I think they're on BBC iPlayer, aren't they? So,
Yeah, yeah. As I
um,
said, I've seen a few episodes. So I tell a lie, I did watch a couple of episodes that Jodie Whittaker was in. I've seen the one where the Master returns.
yeah, that
The
that's
first
good.
one where the Master returns on with the plane and stuff. And I've also seen the one where Captain Jack Harkness returns. I've seen both of those. Because of course he was one of my favourite characters.
Yeah, it was good that happened, but I also think the writing wasn't right for in that episode as well. Well, really, because um, do you remember when Captain Jack was with David Tennant on the Utopia episode?
Yeah.
And like I think so yeah, when he come on the TARDIS at the start of the episode, and then he was hanging on to it,
Mhm.
and then like Martha was there, and then like he said something about you've something about you have regenerated or
Oh,
something.
you know what it was is David Tennant asked him, "Have you had some work done?"
Oh
And
yeah,
then
that's it.
and then Captain Jack Harkness says, You can't talk or something. You
Yeah,
can't talk."
and that actually happened in the episode where Captain Jack was saving the Doctor, 30th Doctor. They said those exact lines again. When he was saving her. So I thought, in a way, it's good when they do that, but you kind of know.
It's good to like revisit it. I mean, figures. I get it could be a bit seen as a bit lazy to do that. But
Yeah,
the thing is, it's good to like. 'Cause the thing is, when we said those lines, it'll have, of course, brought the memories back to when it happened in the Utopia episode.
yeah.
So that's maybe might have done it intentionally to like drop their memories to the last time, to that
Maybe,
time.
maybe because I do think Joe Whitaker has got similarities to Matt Smith, actually, the 11th
Matt
Doctor.
Smith.
No, you know the 11th Doctor. I think Joe's
Yeah.
Doctor, like personality, is a bit similar because she can be quite funny and bubbly, like Matt, like the
Yeah.
11th.
I think she could be quite bubbly. But in the couple of episodes I've seen, I'd rather put her towards David Tennant.
Yeah, yeah, I think
She
so.
was a bit more bubbly, but I rather saw her as more David Tennant rather than Matt Smith when I was watching her.
Yeah, yeah. Like so, like I think you can get quite a lot of similarities with it. You know, like with the pair of them. Um,
Yeah.
like because David Tennant can be quite serious, but can be quite funny too. Um,
Yeah, there is definitely some funny episodes, especially like when he was with Catherine Tatum's like the Wasp episode. Do you know like when he was poisoned and do you know
well,
when he
that
was
was
poisoned in the Wasp episode? And then Catherine and then Donna kept on like bringing him stuff like suggesting stuff like Harvey Wallbanger and stuff.
yeah. That
That was definitely one of my favorite episodes he was in, just 'cause of his like showed his like comedic side.
yeah, it was quite funny. Um, like it's really good. Like David Tennant is like whatever he's in. Like if it's Doctor Who, if it's another program, it's great.
On Broadchurch, Grace Point.
Yeah, you know, all those really good programs and and yeah, like I when he did leave David Tennant, I was quite sad about it. Like when he did
I
leave,
mean, it's
like
natural, isn't it?
yeah, and then when Matt Smith came along, um, I wasn't looking forward to it because I like you like David Tennant quite a lot, and like when he says I don't want to go,
Oh
like
God, I mean, I was in pieces, and so was my mum. We
yeah,
was all in pieces when he said that, and like his face as well when he actually started to regenerate. That really had me going. Did that? I mean,
I
the thing,
yeah
yeah, 'cause of course Christopher Eccleston. He was trying to. I think he was trying to like maybe keep a brave face for Rose when he
yeah
was regenerating. Of course, he was smiling and stuff. Although you could tell in his face he was still sad that he was leaving, that he was changing, that he wasn't going to be himself anymore.
yeah
You could tell he was trying to keep a brave face. Whereas with David Tennant and Matt Smith, David Tennant wasn't with any. David Tennant's doctor wasn't with anybody when he regenerated. So
mm,
he was able to like kind of yeah, show a bit more emotion, be himself basically.
yeah because out of nowhere, David Tennant's been the only Doctor on his own, hasn't he? Really, like regenerating because you had 9 with Rose, 11 with Clara, and 12. No, actually, 12 was on his own. No, no,
12 didn't have anyone.
yeah, yes, I'm wrong, but 12 didn't have anyone too. So I think it's better when you don't have anyone when you're regenerating because you can say more. I think like you can
Yeah.
say what you want, and it's not like you've got a scared person in the TARDIS not knowing what's happening. Um,
Yeah. Things all I do believe is best to kind of explain things before it happen. Like for example, in a David Tennant episode, do you remember the one? I think it's called 42. Do you
yeah,
remember the episode 42?
yeah, I remember that one.
Where he was like affected by the sun and Martha and everyone was like trying to shove him into the decontamination thing.
Oh yeah, you
He
said
started
that
to
too.
explain to Martha, like, like he was trying to explain to Martha what happens like when he's dying and stuff. I think that's what he should do with every I think that's what the doctor should do with every companion. Of course, it. He could even take one of his regenerations and show it to the companion, so at least they know what to expect, and maybe they can warn others around him.
Yeah, because like she really knew Martha really knew what the timer was, especially when like the human episodes were along with like Human Nature and the Family of Blood. But those two because like she kind of really had to look after him because he was human in those two.
Yeah, as I say, yeah, yeah, as I say, yeah, as I say, of course, Rose seeing 9 regenerating to 10. She, of course, knew what regeneration was in like is it the end of Time Journey's End? You
Yeah,
know, like when he's shot by the Dalek and Rose, when he's like running towards Rose. And of course, Jack knows, because I'm guessing Jack knows about Time Lords and stuff.
yeah,
So he already knows. No, he knows. So of course, he saw because he'd of course seen. Although he hadn't seen the Doctor regenerate, he obviously had seen his new face, so he knew that of course he changed his face when he dies.
yeah, yeah. It
So yeah,
was good.
so those two was able to explain to like Donna, who had no clue what was going on. So they was able to keep Donna a bit calmer. So I think that if the Doctor explained to the companions what happens, they could maybe help the others around them. Like for example, any new companions, they could help explain and keep them calm about what's happening, and kind of guide them. Where if the Doctor is incapacitated due to his regeneration, like 10 was when he first regenerated,
Yeah,
um, the old companion can kind of guide the new companion into like what to do and stuff.
I do like it when I prefer it, but it's like David Tennant kind of thing, where like if they're going to regenerate, I prefer them Doctor to be on their own, just because the
Yeah,
new Doctor can start new with like new companions, like Matt Smith's Doctor 11th Doctor did with like Amy, like with Amy and that, and like with Clara. I understand why, because she didn't really get along with 11th Doctor, although she was in it quite a bit, like with her dying and alive and that all the time. Um,
yeah,
so that's pretty interesting. But with David Tennant's Doctor, like I saw like a video like he was doing, like he did like diff different ways he was saying I don't want to go, and you had the one he showed you, but
yeah,
one of them was him like breaking down, like really breaking down, like he was
yeah.
crying, and he thought that's not who the Doctor is. He just like want to upset people even more, like um. So it's quite interesting when you see like that kind of stuff.
Although deep down, I do wish that Donna could have stayed on a bit longer, because don't you think Matt Smith and Catherine Tate would have had like good series together? I mean, with them both being comedic and stuff, Catherine Tate, of course, being a big comedian, Matt Smith being comedic himself.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
think that it would have been. I mean, it figures it might have been too much to have them both in like with how big the personalities are and stuff. But I just think Amy's personality was quite big, so I think could have been like quite good if like Donna and Matt Smith's Doctor had been given a chance to be together.
yeah. But there's always a possibility, I think, like now, like with that it possibly happening. Because I know Matt Smith did get asked, like, if he could bring a companion from like another Doctor. He said he would want Rose, like, he would pick Rose, like,
He'd pick Rose.
yeah, yeah, because
I'm
like,
actually surprised by that.
yeah, because they all got like in the 30, like Matt Smith, Jodie Whittaker,
Oh
and
yeah.
David Tennant has like a little thing together, and they all got asked. So Matt Smith said Rose, David Tennant said the Brigadier, and
Oh God, yeah.
and Joe Whittaker said Rory.
Oh. Rory, I do agree with Rory. Yes, the thing is, I think Rory was quite unappreciated. I do feel that, I know this is a controversial opinion, but I think at times Amy was a bit kind of, I mean, thingy towards him. She didn't exactly treat him with what, I mean, Rory was like practically Canadian. He was kind, he was nice, albeit he lost his temper sometimes, but that's been human.
Yeah,
But yeah, like I said, Rory was always like very nice and very genuine. Whereas Amy kind of dismissed Rory quite a bit. And sometimes basically put the Doctor before Rory, which I didn't think was very fair.
Yeah, like that. That's the thing when you take companions away. Like the Doctor always has, like he had no choice to bring him along. In the end, which I think was great. Like I think they're one of my favourite TARDIS teams, I guess. Like people
And
decide.
the thing is, it was one of my favourite TARDIS teams, but the thing is, I think I, I don't know. I just got the feeling that Amy was quite controlling over Rory, if you know what I mean. And I feel if it had been the other way around, it would have been seen as more wrong, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because like the episode where I can't remember the episode now. Um, like the episode where I think it might be the science episode where the doctor was saying to no, Amy was saying to the doctor that she's pregnant, and the doctor's asking, "Have you told Rory?" I was like, "No, I've only told you." And then Rory heard in, and then I think deep down he wasn't happy about it, but he was having a little joke about it. So why are you not telling me these kind of things on my nerves? Um, so yeah, I don't think she was very like she would kind of maybe hide quite a lot of things from Rory and tell the doctor instead.
Yeah, yeah, because and just some of the ways like she spoke to Rory as well. It just seemed a bit thingy to me. But yeah, because I didn't see it at first, but of course when you go into like fan groups and stuff and like read their posts and stuff like that, yeah, like when I was reading a post about Rory and Amy and stuff, I thought, actually, on a minute, that's actually right. I mean, she did speak to him quite badly at times, and
Yeah,
I mean, the post did say that if it had been if it had been the other way around, it would have been spoken about more. Even
yeah,
though it's only fictional characters, I think women controlling men is as bad as men controlling women.
yeah. Do you remember the episode the Daleks the Dalek episode where Clara, who wasn't Clara at the time, but the actor was a Dalek.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
and at the end where like Amy's wearing no, Amy lost her thing down in the Dalek place where
yeah,
it's keeping you like human, and
yeah,
she lost hers, and Rory was gonna, not knowing that the doctor gave Amy his anyway, but Roy said, "I'm going to give you mine," and then Amy was like, "No, you can't do that." And then Roy said, "Well, the point of our relationship, I love you more than you love me," and I
yeah.
kind of understood that, like the way he's feeling about that, because it's kind of true.
I mean, the thing is, I'm not being funny, but I think the reason why we did that scene is because everyone was thinking it. I'm not bit, yeah, because most people were thinking it when they were watching it. I mean, the thing is, I think they saw that in Amy's mind, the Doctor was kind of replacing Maury kind of thing.
Yeah,
So I think that's why we did that scene, like with Amy's outburst after him saying that. I
yeah,
think it was trying like to create a bit of sympathy and bring back a bit of humanity to Amy.
that's it. And do you think like kind of Rory's character is quite similar to Mickey's, like in the sense that like how they are, like
Oh yeah, Rose and Mickey, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, I think it's good. Like, but you know, when the new Doctor comes along shooty, like
Yeah.
the next Doctor along, I would rather see the Doctor not have a companion straight away. Like, have time, like maybe a few episodes on his own, just to find out who the Doctor is himself.
Yeah, certainly so. But the thing is, a big part of Doctor Who is, of course, his companions, don't it? That's the thing. I mean,
Yeah,
thing is, the companions often show the Doctor who he is. I mean, whether or not they're like, yeah, I think it's the interactions between like the companions and the Doctor often shows what kind of personality the Doctor has. For example, if he's like an angry person, for example, like if he's a bit like angry or a bit like abrupt, like Peter Capaldi's was, or if he's like more laid back, like Jodie Whittaker and Matt Smith, David Tennant and stuff. So I think that's why they do it because I've got because of course the relationship between the Doctor and the villains, of course, shows the Doctor's personality as well. But I
Yeah,
feel the Doctor talks a bit more kind of openly towards his companions because he trusts them more.
yeah, yeah. I get what you mean. But I think like because each Doctor we're used to them having a companion like the first episode in,
Yeah.
and like going with them straight away. So like
Maybe,
I would
maybe
like them to either do it like they leave it a few episodes with the Doctor, or
yeah,
like having a companion straight away, or in the first episode the new Doctor meets a companion,
yeah.
possibly asks them to come with them, and the companion says no straight away, and then maybe down the line, maybe a few episodes in, they might do things with those companions, but not as well like they're traveling just yet.
All right. All right, Six Fingers. I mean, that's what happened with Donna, wasn't it? I mean, Fingers,
Yeah.
she said no, and then she changed her mind and went looking for him.
Yeah. I did like the first. I like the Partners in Crime episode when
Oh
she came
God,
back.
Fingers, that was the perfect opening story for their arc. It was. I mean, Fingers, it showed like I'm not being funny, but they was one of my favorite partnerships. Don't get me wrong, I loved Rose. I mean, she was really nice. But the thing is, I don't know. I just think the connectivity and the chemistry between Donna and the 10th Doctor was perfect. I think because things were challenged each other. Things I know Martha challenged the Doctor quite a few times, but she challenged the Doctor quite a few times. Did Donna like in the Ood episode, in the
Yeah.
Pompeii episode?
Oh yeah.
She challenged the Doctor more times. Like for example, if it wasn't for Donna, the Doctor wouldn't have gone back and just saved that family, which as we know now, wouldn't have changed time or anything if he saved them because yeah.
Like the thing about that episode, which the Doctor should be doing that anyway without Donna, because like that's what the Doctor is. He saves people, and if he didn't do that, I think there would have been an uproar. But it was good because it kind of led because you had Amy character in there, but she wasn't played by that wasn't her character, but the actor was in there.
But the thing is, the reason why I believe he didn't want to save that family initially is of course Pompey was a fixed point in time, exactly like it was explained to Donna, and yeah, he can save some people. However, if you save the wrong person, that could still create a paradox. If that person had to die, that could
Yeah,
still create a paradox.
yeah.
So I think that's the reason why he was more very hesitant to save anyone, just in case. If all he had to do was save one wrong person, and then basically he'd be screwed.
Yeah, maybe that. Obviously, they probably would have known like then that Peter Capaldi was going to be the 12th Doctor, 2 Doctors along. But like, imagine if that family wasn't saved, like because like that. Well, the 12th Doctor, they kind of go back in one episode to that scene, and why that's probably why the Doctor chose that face because of he saved that family like two regenerations ago.
Yeah,
But it's quite good, like Donna and the Doctor's relationship. Like, I like that because like they're not like they like it's not like Donna fancies the Doctor for once, you know.
oh God, she definitely did not fancy the Doctor. I got
Yeah,
that. I mean,
it's good,
yeah,
because you get that quite a lot with companions nowadays, don't you?
yeah. Things all admittedly in like the 9th Doctor, Rose didn't exactly fancy him.
Yeah,
So that was the same as that. But figures most of the 10th Doctor's companions did fancy him. Because let's just face it, David Tennant. David Tennant is cute, isn't he?
yeah.
Let's just face it. Most female fans and even some male fans are crush on him. So basically,
It's
it's only
quite
that
funny,
quick.
because if you think about it, they're the same person, the ninth and the 10th, and those that are like the ninth Doctor like that is probably more like a dad or a dad figure
Yeah,
to her, and then when 10 comes along, she fancies him. And I was like, it's the
yeah,
same
yeah.
person. If he went back to 9, you probably wouldn't have.
Although I would argue that I believe although it's the same body technically, it's the same being, but not actually the same person anymore because exactly like David Tennant explains it, that person when they regenerate, they're dead, technically. But no new person goes swanning away and I'm dead. Exactly like David Tennant said. That's how he viewed it, and that's basically how it is. Because I mean, look at the personalities. Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant are there might be some similarities, but they're not actually the same person.
Hmm.
So that's basically what I mean. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I'll get
So
that.
yeah, so Rose, she doesn't view the 10th Doctor as the same person as the 9th Doctor, and that's how come she can develops feelings for the 10th Doctor, because she doesn't view him she doesn't view him as the same person as the 9th Doctor, despite him being the same
Yeah.
being, as it were.
Do you like in any of the Doctors? Can you see any like maybe autism, like maybe things that they may do, like with them?
But the thing is, you see, I don't want to create any controversy at all or
Right.
anything. However, I'm gonna say autistic traits
Yeah, yeah,
rather than autism. So autistic traits. I I am technically thinking about Matt Smith, but I think he could be more ADHD. I think he has more ADHD traits rather than autistic traits, like
yeah,
where he flaps his hands and stuff like that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Because
yeah. So and also he's got a lot more energy, hasn't he, and everything, and he's quite hyper at times.
yeah,
So
he
I do
is.
think that Matt Smith does have quite a few ADHD traits, but he could also have a few autism traits. I think I have seen like bits of him like that need routine, a tiny bit of routine and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Because his routine is it changes and his mood changes. Or depends on how he's
Yeah,
feeling.
yeah. There is technically one thing. Like the thing is, even though River shows the doctor how to like fly it without the noise, he needs that noise there because
Yeah,
he's used to that noise. So that's technically like that could be seen as like an autism trait because it's routine.
yeah, yeah. Because I guess like the sonic screwdriver is like a sensory toy as such to the Doctor because they're always playing with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, because it can be used as a sensory toy, but in my opinion, it kind of isn't. It's more there. It's because fingers sensory toys are there for like really sensory toys are basically there mainly to provide comfort.
Yeah,
Whereas Sonic Screwdriver, it's got an actual physical use, as in to like open doors as long as it's not wood, and it's got like a purpose behind it, other than to provide calming sensory and stuff. Like for example, like a fidget spinner, that's sensory because all you do is spin it, and it doesn't have really any other purpose than to calm you down
yeah,
or to entertain you.
yeah. I get what you mean. Like, yeah,
But the thing is, of course, people do use everyday, objects to stim with. So you
mm,
can still, I mean, things I do agree, like when he fidgets with his sonic screwdriver and stuff, that could be seen as stimming.
yeah. I think the Doctor does stim a lot, really.
Yeah,
Like you can see it because, like
yeah.
each Doctor, they probably just play with it. Like for example, with David Tennant, you remember the June on the Moon episode where he's going on about his sonic screwdriver and it's broke and he's really upset about it,
No.
and he says to
Well,
Martha,
well, yeah, the one and only doctor I don't remember stimming is Christopher Eccleston. I don't remember him stimming at all.
No,
Unless if
I
you
don't either.
can.
He just got it out if he needs to use it, really.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause I mean, figures he was a lot more, he tried to remain a lot more out of the way. 'Cause of course, the time war was still like deeply in his head.
Yeah,
And of course, he kind of like wanted to get past it and everything.
definitely. And I think as well, like a comfort for each Doctor is their TARDIS, isn't it? Because they're like,
Well, it's their home, isn't it? It's their
yeah,
home, isn't it? It's the Doctor's home. So basically, it's like our homes are like our comfort zone.
yeah. Um, but it's really good because like each Doctor will have a different TARDIS, which I kind of like. And I look forward to like look forward to seeing what clothes the Doctor's going to be wearing like the next time on. It's quite interesting, you know. And I think that's another thing maybe because like each Doctor normally wears the same clothes for a long period of time.
Um, yeah, the thing is, I agree that the clubs are similar, but we're not actually the same. Like, for example, Christopher Eccleston wears leather.
Yeah, they're all different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I think David Tennant and Matt Smith are kind of similar. So, of course, they both wear jackets most of the time. And they both wear some kind of tie. Like, for example, Matt Smith wears bow tie, and David Tennant wears proper tie. So there is like certainly similarities there, but like say they all have like their own like personal style, if you know what I mean.
yeah, like that. That's what I mean, like with each Doctor. Like each Doctor's gonna wear a different pair of clothes, but when they're wearing, like for example, the Ninth Doctor just wore a leather jacket, like
Yeah,
it's what he was comfortable in, and you never saw him anything different. So if that's comfort to him, and then you've got the 10th Doctor possibly wearing two maybe different ones. You've got his blue one that later on, and you had his brown suit, what he wore quite a lot. So I think they normally, if they stay on for a few seasons, they have about two costumes that you'll likely see,
yeah,
which is it's
so,
quite good. Like that they enjoy what they do. Like
yeah.
I have a sort of screwdriver too, so I'm always playing with it too. So I understand why. I think they get to keep one as well. They get to keep it once
That,
they leave.
that'd be really good with that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they're like I think the Doctor like they get to collect or keep certain things off their set that they want.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, yeah, because each Doctor's is special in their own way. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, it's gonna be really exciting, Shay. Like next year for the 60th, and see what all's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to like seeing what Neil does. Do you know that
Yeah,
Neil?
yeah,
What?
Patrick Harris.
Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris. I knew it was Neil Patrick. I couldn't remember his last name because, like, I know he's like a very established actor, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings to the role. What he brings, because I mean, the role is very tight-lipped, which is kind of suspicious and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, because
So yeah.
yeah, because we've seen kind of scenes outside the TARDIS, like what they had to tell you people. But
Yeah, and you see like Neil Patrick Harris dancing.
yeah, I think they've done a
You
lot
see him in a
inside though
suit.
as well.
And you see him like in a suit, but other than that, we don't really know what's happening. So there's a lot of like guesswork and stuff going on at the minute.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of speculation to even who David Tennant is. Like,
Yeah,
is he the Doctor? Is he like the 10th Doctor? Is he maybe a future Doctor? Um, an alternative Doctor? Like, there's so many things, you know, and it's interesting because I think with that we see all this stuff, we still don't know what's going on, and I think lots have been filmed inside, probably on their set,
yeah,
um, as well, which we will obviously won't know because it's inside. So it's going to be interesting. Well, but I'll finish it now, Shane. Like, before I do, if you can maybe just say like a quote that you relate to in Doctor Who, if you have one.
yeah. As I said, I can't remember the exact quote. However, there's a quote in Peter Capaldi's episode. You know, like when I think it's the Saigon episode.
Yeah,
And you know, like when he's talking about peace and now how sooner or later they'll have to like, you know, sit down and talk like they always would have had to do.
Yeah, yeah, like
That's definitely a big, yeah, that's definitely like a big inspirational quote for me is that.
yeah, okay. Yeah, I agree to that one, and he had lots as well, didn't he, Peter Capaldi? Lots of really good quotes.
Yeah, he really did.
Yeah, well, thanks for that, Shane. It's been great talking to you about Doctor Who and autism, and glad to have you back on here again.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fab. Thanks very much. I do
Yeah,
really appreciate you having me on again.
yeah. Well, thanks, Shane. I'm glad you enjoyed it again.
Thanks very much.